intro. Man, this lady right here, like, first of all, I'm gonna introduce you, multidisciplinary artist or artist, activist. That's what I remember reading on your site. Storyteller, she's a dancer. I would call a storyteller also a griot, so I'll call you that too. Dancer, actor, model, photographer, teacher, who loves to give the voice to the voiceless and expand access to artistic healing. And also a traveler, domestic and international, and just a Jill of all trades, man. Mataji Booker. I hope that was an okay introduction.
Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you. I have to tell people, okay, the first time that I ever seen this lady, dude, okay, so I'm from Long Beach, California, people that don't know. I took a bus. I didn't have a car at the time. I took a bus all the way to Hollywood, the rail in the bus, and because my friend Bridge was playing a gig, and she wanted me to check the band out because I was basically trying out for her band. So I went out there, and I saw Bridge, or we just chilled or something like that, and like we were just chilling, and it was an event by these guys called the Quality Collective, and I met all these cats like Peter Woods, Javi, Moss. I think Taz was even there. Tasmin, was she there?
Yes, Tasmin.
Um,
Oh no, she wasn't there yet.
I probably met her later then.
In '08.
Oh yeah, okay, that's right. But I met a gang of cats, man, and it was just a rad bunch of people and atmosphere. So I'm in this hall, or this, I don't know what it was, like a weird corridor type thing, and there's this lady, everybody's gathered. They're gathered. They're gathered in this either hall or really strange room, and this woman is playing the guitar on a ladder. And I was tripping off of her voice and the way that she played, and I'm like, dude, this lady is amazing. Like, she's just carrying everything just with, it's like you didn't even need a band. I was just really captivated by what you were doing. And I just, I had to just like see what was up, because I thought like what you were doing was great, man. And like, I'm glad that we've kept in contact for so long, and I mean, shoot, dude, like tell me what you've been up to lately.
Yeah, lately, let's keep it recent, because it's always a loaded question when you do like a bunch of things, I'm going to give you an example of my day. So today I went to Hollywood High School. I partake in, I'm one of the professional actors that partakes in an amazing program called Fountain Voices. It's put on by the Fountain Theater. They go to Hollywood High School and they go to Compton Early College. And so basically, the freshmen or whatever grades, they do a whole semester of helping them to write scripts, and they do research and they write scripts, and then they hire us to like actually read their scripts, like do staged reading and bring it to life. It's so much fun. And so I started my day off there, which is one of my happy places, because as a teaching artist, I love working with, anything that involves the youth. And then I went to go teach my little ballet class with the Angelica Center for Arts and Music, ACAM. So I was, we're preparing them for the end of the year performance. And then I came here to one of these buildings. It's in South LA, one of the sites for Housing Works, which I've worked as a teaching artist the last year, working with adults, which has been amazing. Transitional homeless youth and older people doing poetry and acting workshops. We've got a thing going on next week, kind of end of the year, beautiful play. So I'm here for a rehearsal. And I'm gonna slip this in before they're just starting in the other room, so we might hear some drums soon. And that being said, this is kind of my life, and then in between I'm like maybe doing a play. What else have I been doing? We got somebody coming through the hall. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. And what else? Just living life and just saying yes to most things that feel right with my soul. But everything lately has been in alignment, and I just say yes. And just one thing happens to another. I did, some people who were on this live stream, if Tamika is still there, were present. I have been doing a lot of performance art and like experimental performance art with video and using dance. And at the beginning of this month, I actually got married to myself. I had a wedding. I haven't posted anything about it yet because we actually are doing, it was filmed and we're doing a little documentary short about it. But because I'm an artist, I can just have a basic wedding. I had to also, you know, throw some of that experimental performance art in the earlier part of it. So I had a symbolic death, and it was beautiful. There was movement and dance and multimedia, and so now you know, I have a wifey, and it's me, and she's awesome, and that's been really transformative as a creative, but and just as a human, and to have people bear witness to that. I took vows, and so every day I kind of align with my goals and like who I am as an artist, like how am I, you know, honor my dreams, all these different things that I said in front of all of these people. It was really beautiful, you know, so it's a really great way to kind of close out the year and really just like an era, you know, of my life. And I know you're probably wondering about music because that's how we met. And
Yes.
people know me as a musician. It's been really quiet the last few years as I've been getting back into my acting and writing and teaching. And but I'm happy to say that I am getting back into music in 2024. I'm actually actively looking for band members. Hint, hint.
Oh, we
Um,
were talking about collaborating a few years ago, but you know how everything went.
It's timing, it's timing, it's timing. And yeah, the songbird has been brewing for a while. And so I spent the last few years really starting in 2020 when everybody was in their, you know, enclosed cocoons. Because up to that point, I was just focused on music for the most part, realizing like, you know what, I have all of these gifts. It's time to start utilizing all of them. I have to figure out a way to utilize them all because I would just be doing acting or just doing music. You know, that's why people know me mostly for music because that's what for so long I was just focused on. And then, and I say this to anyone who's creative or even doesn't even know they're creative yet but has little yearnings. It's like, you know, we have to figure out. We have to. I think it's good to focus on one thing, but it's like it was like becoming painful to be like ignoring the other things that I do. And so I spent the last, first of all, starting off calling myself a multidisciplinary artist rather than just saying I'm this, I'm that. And just figuring out how it works for me. I think the first thing was claiming that and then just making sure that I'm touching on these areas.
I
And
like that though. That's so cool.
I feel like I can return, and now I feel like I can insert music back into that picture or that frame.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
up to.
I was wondering, were you doing like a Buto style like dancing? Like,
Interesting you mentioned that because someone else mentioned that recently, and I forgot all about Buto, but I was very intrigued by that when I learned about it years ago. I think I do something like that, but I wasn't aware that that was kind of something like that I was doing. But I do. Are you talking about when you saw me with the wig and the
yeah,
mask?
and kind of like the movements, like,
Wasn't it? Yeah. That was a piece called Medication. I was exploring
wow.
my mental health and yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing the live performance, like structured improvisational, experimental stuff.
I
It's also a lot of fun.
love that.
Do you know where they're at? Oh, there he is. You look so cute. I'm like, look at her, she's cute. Okay, stop.
Man, like, so here's a question. How did you begin, like, the arts that you do as far as like what was, I know this is like a open-ended question because there's a few different arts that you do. First of
I
all, how did you get into music? Oh, I'm
I do
sorry.
don't know I do, and
What
that's
was that?
I do. There are mediums that I do that people still don't know I do,
Wow.
and
Actually, if you don't mind, like telling people, like, and I hope I listed at least some of them.
no,
Photographer, I know you're an
I'm
actress.
gonna start. I'm laying it all out. Like people are gonna be mad at me, but it was
No,
bad.
this is what this is for. It's all creativity.
But you know what I have to say, and I'm so sorry to cut you off, but it's important that I say this because, again, for anyone who's watching, I spent my whole life um, dimming my light because I had so many creative talents that I was good at. And I didn't want to shine because I'm like, people are not going to accept that I can do all these good things. And so I shrunk. I didn't put it out there. And I spent the last, for a while now, really working on that and healing and looking at that. And so now I'm ready to let it all just hang out. So there's a couple more things coming down the pipeline, is what I'm saying. And when I'm referring more to visual art and literary art and like, filmmaking and whatnot.
It's
But I also paint. And
it's, I'm sorry. It's really good that you do.
out of the world, and it feels really good.
No, you have to. I think there's some Bible verse, I forget where it is, it's talking about the person with many talents, and the other cat, like one of the guys was just burying the talent, and he, kind of suffered a loss for that. So I think it's really cool, like that you are expounding, like me, for example. Most people know that I play bass, but they don't really know that I actually write songs. They're used to all the bands that I've been in, but I've been working, and it's been a while, I think we kind of briefly talked about this, just on projects, like where it's like, hey, I actually write songs, and it's been an uphill battle with that, just dealing with people recording me and all that. That's a whole nother story that I don't want to get into here, but I understand how you feel. And I'm a dancer too. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah,
Oh, see?
I'm a street dancer though. I'm a pop locker and b-boy,
You're a dancer, and that's the thing. And that's what I want to say to people too, is one of my biggest things I champion, no matter what age you are. I don't care if you're 5 or 95. It's like most people that I know, they don't just do one art form,
No.
And then there's people that are walking around that they don't even discover they can do something until they're like later in life. It's just been lying dormant for whatever reason. Because I really also believe in timing. But yeah, it's just like, but I have to say it's 2023. This time is everyone's time, because to be an artist, to be really anything you want to be, is more accepted, I mean, for the most part. 20 years ago when I started out, it literally was like, you can only act, you can only do music, like choose one. And even
Wow.
it was like, if you do commercials, you don't do TV. If you do TV, you don't film. If you were a model, forget about it. Like, you could maybe do a commercial. They didn't take you seriously. If you're a singer, you better not try to act. So it was very, and everything was also very black, white. Even when I was starting out acting, it was hard for me because I would go to, no one looked like me really yet, except maybe Maya Rudolph and like Erica Gimbel. Like, I'd go to a casting, it'd be me in a room full of darker brown skinned women, not even really any light skinned women. Not to say that they didn't exist, but or I'd go to it and it was all white women and then me. And I'd be like, where do I fit in? So I took a break from acting for a while because I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. And now it's like everything goes, shape, size, age, gender, whatever you want to call yourself. You want to do 5 things. Now it's weird if you only do one thing, even as an actor, you only act, you don't produce and write it, right? So I think it's an amazing time to shine and to do your thing. And so I'm a late bloomer. I'm not tripping. I've never been tripping. It's like, it's about timing, And so a big part of my journey with everything I've been through, now I get to through my art. It's like, I consider myself a healer through the arts. I think every artist I know considers himself that. And that's why a lot of the more movement-based experimental performance art, it's all doing like mental health, healing, family, just, it's so, I'm definitely leaning towards doing a lot more, creating more experimental, interactive, immersive theater with the audience to kind of I kind of touched on that a little bit with my wedding. I called it my wedding memorial.
That's rad.
I was there to have an experience, but I also set it up that everyone there had an experience, and it was all, of course, it's going to be different for everyone. And the feedback that I got from everyone present was so amazing to show me I'm on the right path with that type of medium, because there's nothing more powerful than being in a room full of people. It's like low-key witchy. It's a little like sorcery, But that's what actors do whenever you go to see a play, or even if you just watch a movie or go to hear a concert. There's stuff happening on a cellular level for everyone who's present. So I went way off a tangent from whatever I interrupted you from earlier. But
no, this is all a part of it. For me, I'll be honest, one of the reasons I do this, of course, is to give our people a highlight, but also as an encouragement creatively, like I want people to talk about what you're talking about. For me, it is definitely, I don't like to use the word existential because people always think of these guys that are just, like sitting on a rock doing this, but it's definitely something that's interactive and something to where it's just like, hey, we all relate. Like you relate, even if you're not, even to those people that aren't doing the arts that we do, you could still relate to them and encourage those people. So thank you. No, please talk about that.
This is kind of like what I realize is one of my reasons for being here, and it's just what I do. It's like a mission. It's all encompassing. I see you, Dianera Sanchez. I don't know if you're still on there. Um, okay. I just wanted to see because I've never done this before. I just wanted to say to Dianera, the dance class that I just came from teaching, my little ballerinas, Maria from 32nd Street got me that gig.
Awesome.
It's just like most of the gigs that I do come from they just come to me. No, but they do. It's like whenever I say, okay, universe, I'm ready to start teaching again, then it's just like all the synchronicities happen, all of it just, from whatever circle, from that circle. And it's great because it's just like, okay, cool, I'm on the path. This is when something is flowing, it's flowing.
Yep.
And how many times have I been like, okay, I'm ready to start, like last year, I was like, I'm ready to start doing commercials again. That shit for a year, didn't book one thing, and I was like, okay, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I literally I think I need to start teaching again. And then it was like, boom, 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 and that's how it always, happens. So it's just it's a good reminder to be like, we know when we're in the flow. So it feels good. And I'm excited to do music again. This is kind of funny that you're like, this is like history of rock and roll. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I do music too.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, that's the other thing, let's talk about Andre 3000. Like, I love his album. I love his message, how he came out, because I've intentionally been letting kind of people forget about me as a musician for a few years because I needed a break because I was doing it really hard for 3 years. And like I said, I wanted to tend to my other gifts and start to kind of develop my career again in these other areas. But also the music's changed. And I know you can relate to this. It's like when I come back, it's not going to be the same. And I was cool with that, but I'm like really excited now because it's almost like him and I might be switching places. Like, it's like that extreme, and I'm excited about it. I don't know if anyone here on this live or if you have had a chance to check out Rick Rubin's new book, The Creative Act, The Art of Being. It's so dope. It's like this thick. It reads like the Tao Te Ching. It's like
wow.
8 areas of thought, and each thought is like a page and a half. So every morning I just kind of like read a page and a half, and it's it's really simple, piecemeal, beautiful, and it's for anyone. It's not just for artists, it's for anyone. It's so beautiful. Someone gave me a $40 gift card for my wedding for Romans, and I was like, oh my God, a bookstore. And I went in there and I found it. I was like, this is the book. And I highly recommend it to anyone. It could be a great Christmas gift for, actor or not actor. It's so beautiful. So Rick Rubin, y'all, get it. I'm not being paid to promote this, by the way.
I have to check that out, man. I mean, shoot. And I know he's been in the game for quite some time. So, and it's funny you mentioned Andre and like, the funny thing about that, and it reminds me of what you were saying too earlier, people are so used to Andre because of the talent that he has rapping. They're used to oh heck, he's so talented, how could he not just do another rap album? And I have to tell him, and I'm not just saying this because I'm into like a lot of experimental music, which to me, like I'm into that stuff, so like I was cool with it. But the thing is, one thing that I told a friend of mine recently, I'm like, look, some people just want to do other things, like some people are at a different place where they just want to experiment with other ways of expressing themselves. And so I'm like, more power to them. Some people might think it's a gimmick. No, it isn't. And I totally understand where he's coming from by reading some of the things that he said, even at his age. I'm a year older than him. For me, I'm still listening to death metal and all that, and I still like a lot of noisy and weird avant-garde stuff. I don't know, but I understand what he means by that, just being pigeonholed, especially as a black artist. We tend to get pigeonholed a lot. I mean, seriously, like it just, oh, you have to just do this, or you know, how come you just can't stay here in this niche? No, our whole culture is avant-garde, really. I could list a bunch of different artists even before him that, I mean, there's a lot of them, you know, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be long-winded, but yeah, that's interesting. What you're saying parallels that.
No, no, it's true. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, well, first of all, I started writing, I think I've been writing since, I'm trying to do the math, 23, 24 years, something like that.
Mm.
And I have a body of work that no one's even ever heard. And a lot of those songs, those original songs, those earlier songs, I have a lot of work. I'm actually now, I mean, I don't know if I should be saying this stuff, like I'm kind of giving away a little bit of a secret, but this is just for the special live crew. Um, I'm starting to do more playwriting, and I'm
Mm.
like, oh, I can use some of them. I'm not a big musical person. I don't like, oh, stop like I'm not a big musical person, but I'm seeing how I can use some of these songs and some of these, they're relevant to some of the stories I want to tell. Because everything I do is going to be multimedia, but that being said, in the last 4 years or so, 5 years, I haven't been able to really write words. Like, I'm just over here instrumentally hard. I have nothing else to sing about. I can't sing another love song. I've sang all the love songs there are to sing about. Oh, hey, welcome back. I got a love song. It was like, oh, I'm in love. I'm going to make a song about it. I don't care. I don't have no more songs to sing. I have a lot of, if anything, what I was going to write now would be more social, political, like, spiritual. And because I do have a whole body of music, again, that hasn't been heard, that's very political activist music, protest songs, which is probably going to be the next thing that I work on, because now is the time. And so put a little band together. But that being said, it's mostly been instrumental as far as what I've been working on the last few years. And it's kind of exciting. And, don't be surprised if there's a little bit of a rap or two in the middle, because that's what I've been kind of feeling like doing last year. Is like, I want to start, so it's like, that's what's like for like changing places. But not just that. It's just such a great time to just do all the things you can imagine. And and then I had my first DJ gig the other night. It was very last minute
I was
in
gonna
years.
ask about that. Yeah, I saw that piece. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't know that's one of the things. I'm like, I didn't know this lady DJs.
Why I'm telling you, like, people are okay. So Terrence DJ Jedi, Motown Mondays. No, okay.
No, I know Clifton because he's at Footsie's, but
Yeah, but
that's the homie.
he's a DJ, one of the founding DJs of Motown Mondays. The only place I live like go to dance when I go out to dance, because I'm the elder at this point.
That's awesome.
Monday nights, everyone is a short stop in Echo Park if you're in Los Angeles for fun and for free. That's boogie down, shake your tail feather dancing. You will have like every Monday.
To go down there.
And but yeah, it was 4:30. My friend was like, "Hey, they need a DJ at Footsie's. They can't come in. Can you come in at 5 to 10?" And I was like, I just started putting my records together. I just record DJ vinyl, old school, and it was so much fun. And they're like, "Can you promote it?" So I post that photo, like, "Okay, back on the wheels of steel." And it was just so funny, the comments, because I forgot that so many people don't know I do that, because I think I haven't DJed like actively since like when I went on tour in 2014. I sold my turntables to fund my West Coast tour that I did, and I promoted when I released my EP. Because I wasn't really DJing for a while, so I was like, and I had to pay my rent. I came home and my rent was due, and I was like, this is the only thing of value I have. I'll just replace them someday.
Man.
And I haven't really DJed since then, so I realized there's this whole gap of like, not just one life, but many lives since then. All these people that I know now that just don't even know I ever did that. And so what my friend Terrence, he was like, "Who are you?" And I just laughed. And I'm like, when did I start promoting my paintings next month? What are they doing? Their heads are going to explode. But, again, finally in a place where I can do it unapologetically, and also, you know, not. I don't know. I've been really, what do you call it? Oh, you hear the drums? I'm sorry.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it's a good time for me because I'm finding a place where like I can put out whatever I want to put out unapologetically, and I'm not concerned at all anymore about what people think. And the irony is, I've never thought about or cared about people thinking it was not good. Like, I don't care about that either way, but it was more just like people just scratching their head, like, how are you doing all of these things, And I'm just doing them, and
You're a creative conduit. That's why.
having fun with it,
Yep.
and just it all goes. So it's just about getting organized.
Man.
I'm learning though. I've also spent a lot of time kind of understanding my neuro landscape, it's not neurotic, but how my brain works, right? And realizing like how I spent the last few years figuring out how to do all these things, and I realized some projects need focus, right? 2 months. I think I used to get tripped up when I tried to do everything at the same time, and so it's just kind of like figure. So I've been figuring out that process is still a work in progress, but it's making it a lot easier to kind of just finally do the things, and most importantly, listening to my gut. Because sometimes, and I think everyone here knows this, you think it's time to do X, Y, Z, and it's just not. And like you got to go where it's flowing,
Wow.
And it usually will come to me. It's always been that way. So I kind of put down that kind of rock and stop trying to have to work so hard walking up this hill with this boulder. I'd rather like have the visual like when I was a kid and we would like, the like a grassy hill and you rolled. Remember, did you used to roll down the hill?
Oh yeah.
I tried doing that recently and I had a heart attack.
I'm not doing that.
That's how life is just like that little kid rolling down the green, down the hill, what felt like 50 miles an hour.
I have to ask, how did it feel when you tried it recently?
Halfway, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I want to be able to is there a way I could just, if I keep doing it long enough, I'll build up a momentum? It's just that what do you call it? Your
equilibrium.
Your equilibrium. It's just.
I used to do backflips, so I know. I don't do them no more.
Okay. Because I'm like, live and strong, and I'm like, I want to be able to do these things. Yeah, that's why hanging out with kids is so important for me, though. Too, it does really keep. Doesn't help my equilibrium, but it does keep me up.
Man, it's just cool. I didn't know that you were a teacher. I didn't know you were a DJ. I didn't know that you acted. So it's really cool. Even though I know you, like it's cool, like just to look into other stuff that you've done and find out all this beautiful things. And for me, I look at you as more like a creative conduit, and nothing is wrong with what you're doing. Some cats, like, granted, I met you through music, but the whole thing is people don't understand creativity is the basis of even the human existence. Like I personally believe that like the Most High, we're made in the image of the Most High, and we emulate and emanate that. And how we do that is what's crucial, because some people unfortunately have taken it to a destructive, and that's when it's not creativity no more. But like, I like the fact that you're doing things to not only like to elevate even the creativity that you're doing, but also to help others, and I totally relate to that. I have to ask, like, how would you say music, dancing, or just the arts in general have helped you, even on like a spiritual and also like just a healing level? Like, the power of healing with the arts, but how does that help?
Well,
How would you convey that?
I'll tell you, as a child, as a teenager, dance saved my life, right? Like I was a dancer growing up. Like I dabbled with instruments and all that. I've always been a self-taught artist. My parents tried giving me lessons here and there, and I just was like, boo. Because for me, the process has always been, I need to see what comes from me. That's why I didn't go to art school and music school, because it's like, I need to know what's coming from me. And then once it's like, maybe I'll take a class, but it's really like, that's just the kind of artist that I am, right? So as a kid, dance saved my life, as well as because I had my mom passed away when I was like 13. It was a really hard time in my life, but I had dance, and it saved me for years. And also, even I think I was in the 11th or 12th grade. I started writing poetry. I didn't know I was going to be a musician. I started writing poetry. It was how it healed me. And when I was 21, when I went to London to model, and I fell in love for the first time with the British. It's fabulous.
Stop talking like this with a British accent. It's awesome.
Lenny Kravitz, but he was like half Indian and Pakistani and Italian. And he was just like walking out, like love at first sight. Fell in love. He was a musician and a rapper. Oh, he's right. And but then I had, he broke my heart, and it was my first real like love and first heartbreak. So I had to fly back to LA and lick my wounds. And my only way to heal was to start writing music about it. And that it saved my life one more time. That's how art saved my life, I think at that point I was still dancing with Little Washington Dance Theater. But I think about a year or two later, I finally moved on from dance because music was pulling me and acting was pulling me. And my back was from dance. So I was just like, I can't. But all of it carried me through, I wasn't in therapy when I really needed therapy, especially with what happened in my childhood. But that's what always carried me through was the art. And that's why I know firsthand how it heals. And so, that's one of the reasons that I teach and I work with young people. And that's another thing I didn't necessarily plan on doing, but, when something is for you, if you're open enough and I would say brave enough to receive it because it wasn't easy at first. I've been teaching in the after school circuit since I think 2002. I started in New York.
Wow.
Some really kids in Brooklyn that really taught me a lot about myself. And again, it just has always found me. And so I've taken that experience with teaching, working with young people. I've now worked from age like 5 now all the way up to just adults. And that is like the place I'm coming from because I'm like, I needed me. Like who I need to be that person that I needed, or the people that did show up for me, like my teachers and my mentors, And really a lot of times that just looks like loving on them and telling them they're doing a great job, even though, no matter what they're doing. That like positive reinforcement and just showing up, showing up. So, but yeah, and then like, the album Latitudes, my first EP that I put out, it was 6 songs. I think 4 of them were new songs and 2 of them were oldies but goodies. Oh my God, biggest heartbreak of my life. Like I was out of my mind. And that album saved me. I did what I know to do and I got on my guitar and I wrote about that fool. I thanked him.
Sounds beautiful.
Minor notes because I was like, thank you for this album. Like, all this music came out of it, And so it helped me with a lot of heartbreak back when I still had heartbreak. I'm not to say that sounds, it's not to say that I don't have heartbreak, but I just stay single. No, I'm kidding. Like I was saying earlier, like, as I'm older and I've had many experiences with love and relationships and it's just different. You just don't, care about half of the things I used to when I was younger. And so now I get to mentor other young women and remind them like, oh, it's not a big deal.
That's cool.
Empower the young women with that shit as much as I can, whether it's through my art that I do, whatever medium, or just having a conversation. Because that's the one thing I did not have when I was younger. Not as a younger child or even as a young woman. And that's probably because I kept quiet a lot too. I think if older women around me knew that I was struggling with that, they would have been like, oh, hey, let me give you some advice. But I just, that was my path to learn. It's like I suffered in silence. And now I'm talking specifically about like self-worth, self-love, and then all of the trappings that can happen with men when you don't have it, if that makes sense.
I understand.
Just like you don't know you're insecure, and so I was just looking for love, and so now some of the work that I'm doing now that I haven't put out yet is also touching on that to help young women, and even men too, just humans, young humans, and even older humans, you know, with that, because that's a big deal, you know. I think, I mean, at least it was for me, and I see it everywhere now, especially with dating apps and social media, and nobody talks on the phone anymore. It's all texting, and I don't even allow people to text men to text me anymore. I'm just like, if you can't, we got to talk on the phone. We're not meeting in person because I don't have time for that. You got to talk first to see if I have time for that. But you know, it's just like intimacy and like. But man, going from a lens of not knowing fully who you are, loving yourself, having that value or that worth, but you don't know it yet, you know, it can cause some sticky situations. But it also is life and how we learn and, you know, grow. And it seems like more and more people are talking about it, which I do appreciate that about social media, is there's a lot more information for not just younger people, but people in general who like, you know, there's a saying, and you don't know till you know? And so it's then you can start a path of kind of working on yourself for healing and, you know, making.
That's totally cool. I mean, there's a lot of adults that still deal with things that they've been through, even as kids. Like even the heartbreak thing. Like you'd be surprised, like how many heartbreak, rejection, alienation, all that stuff. I mean, people are still dealing with it even from when they were kids and other traumas. So
Yeah.
what you're doing is awesome. You know, I mean, you know,
the work that I try to do is music, play some of the plays I'm working on a solo theater show. And I'm also, I'm not going to say too much about it, but if there's a podcast idea I've wanted to do for years that I'm also finally going to do in 2024. And it's like interview style.
Oh, mention all that. Because I was going to say, we're, you know, mention all that. This is all you.
It's just communication, connection, having conversations with people of all walks of life and ages, and just for the purpose of kind of putting a lens or, I don't know, kind of being the fly on the wall. But really what it is like, in hearing the conversations, it's like just finding those, and this is already happening. I'm not doing anything new per se, but, you know, just using this social media, this box here. I forget, I used to have a funny name for this cell phone, this cell, like the jail cell. You know, using it as a tool to reach a wider, you know, group of people. Just, what is the word I'm looking for? Identification. There is something really powerful when you hear or see yourself in someone else. Where like you could be walking around with something, because this happened to me for years, thinking I'm so alone, right? And you hear or see share your story, or feel a way that you felt before or feeling right now. I mean, there's nothing more powerful than that. That's why support groups work so well. You know, 12-step groups work so well, because it's like, oh, you feel that way? I didn't know. Okay, I'm not alone. Maybe there's hope for me. Maybe I can change this thing. Oh, and you've done it before, and now you're better. Now you can show me the way. Like, that's something that I was in 12-step recovery for years, and if there's one thing I learned from that, is the power of identification and the power of, like, you know. And so now for me, instead of the group, I'm trying to do it like one-on-one and just like blast it out to however many people want to watch it, you know.
That's a beautiful thing, man. It really is, you know.
Trying to talk about not hearing people talk about, because it's interesting. There's so many things being talked about, and a lot of the things I want to talk about, I was like, oh, I'm thinking about something. Like, there's still so many things to talk about.
Yeah.
That aren't being talked about, or at least not enough. So I'm ready to start some of those uncomfortable conversations, but hopefully with a fun, you know, lighthearted twist, or not. Whatever, you know.
Man.
I was going to receive things, you know, through their lens of their experience. So it's going to be whatever. It's going to hit who it needs to hit, and it's going to be received how it's received, and it's all good. Because as you said, I'm just a conduit here to put it out. Yep. Not trying to no longer trying to save the world. I used to think, I'm going to save the world. So I think a lot of artists start out that way. It's like, no. I spent a lot of time trying to do that already. My job is just to put the content out there, throw the spaghetti on the wall, you know.
The thing is, though, Mataji, it's like a Voltron thing, man. We're all a part of like a body. And I mean, I'm showing my age. I don't know. I'm up there. like it's like you're a lion, but you're a part of a whole other entity, you know, like where it's just like, you know, you're
Voltron, yes. I see the analogy.
yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you there, but yes.
Yeah, so I mean in a sense, I understand like what you mean by hey, you know, I can't say the word, but you could only do your part. I felt like that myself, you know, and even, you know, like what you were even saying earlier, like a lot of people they just think that they have to deal with it on their own, you know, like because it's just they're soldiering up and they're used to that, but they don't realize like sometimes like and they feel like probably nobody else really gets it because it's inside of their head, and then the trust factor where it's like you don't know if those people have been hurt where they feel like cats are going to use that against them. So it's really cool that you were there to kind of like help cats even like that, you know, at least with the arts, even if you're not saying anything, you're just kind of using the art as like sort of a healing method to kind of bring that out of people, you
Yeah,
know.
it's twofold because sometimes it can be literal, like, okay, we're gonna have a conversation about it or we're gonna talk about the song. Sometimes it's just by doing it. Just like, oh, she did it, maybe I can do it. Like there's like you said, it doesn't have to have been said. But yeah, and there's like I love the Voltron analogy because me and my brothers used to sneak to watch Voltron.
Sneak. Whoa.
We weren't allowed to watch cartoons after school. We had to sneak to watch them, but it made it more fun.
Oh.
But Voltron,
Full time was dope.
Voltron, I would see that. I would see that remake if they did that, but only in cartoon style. Sorry, we digress. I want to be in Voltron. Can I be one of those?
Well, you're a lion like a lot of, and then it's just other lions along with you, you know, different parts of the body of that Voltron, and they're just doing their part, you know. That's what we are, you know. Speaking of, how are we doing on time? I want to make sure that you.
And I wanted to shout out, I see my girl Dina Rudin is in the house, and Miss Abby and Sarah Segal. I love that there's people, how did y'all know about this? I don't even think I posted anything
That's so
about,
cool.
um, Dina, my dear friend Dina, who I met years ago in New York. We were, I don't know if I think I'm allowed to say this. We were coat checking in the meatpacking district. I forget the name of the bars, one of the big bars. And it was such an amazing, fun time. And I met this beautiful, spiritual, kindred sister. And we changed each other's lives just by knowing each other and sharing information. It was such a rich time. And so we've stayed in touch, and she makes the most incredible jewelry. If you don't know, go look at her stuff right now. It's Ola Luna Studio. Just Ola Luna Studio. I don't know the handle, Dina, but she makes the most incredible jewelry. And so you mentioned that I got married earlier this month, and we had this beautiful collaboration where she made my wedding amulet, which I didn't want rings. I wanted an amulet, and it's so beautiful. It's funny. I almost wore it for this live stream, but you my day was, and I was like, I'm not carrying this thing around. Like, it's going to get destroyed. This is like my fourth thing on my calendar. But now I'm wearing it because I would love nothing more for Dina to come on, and I'm just like, where did I have it? But it's here in spirit. It's here in spirit. You know it is. Okay, her handle is at Studio Ola Luna, all one word. I knew there was, I just got her mixed around. Her stuff is amazing. Earrings, jewelry, she makes some camera, I was going to say camera straps. Just go check it out
Yep.
and support.
So check that out, man.
You need to check it out too. When I talk about art, like each of her pieces, the vibration, I mean, handmade, leather, wooden, it's like all of it belongs on the wall in like all of the finest museums. And just who she is. I have to send that shout out because that's my girl. I love you
Yeah,
too.
man. This is what we do, man. Yeah, shout anyone out, man. That's how we rock.
Well, here we
Wabiri! No way!
are.
Dude!
She,
What?
when we met, I think I
Ah, you're cutting out. I can't hear you. Oh no, she cut out. What's up, Wabiri? So cool to see you.
this is great. We have a nice little intimate little crew. I'm gonna have just I've always been nervous about not nervous. Um I've never wanted to do a live stream for myself, or I just am like, who's gonna come on there? But this has been really fun. I'm glad we did this because maybe now I'll do a live stream and have some people on. Like maybe, this is not as, I don't know. I don't know what I thought it was, but this was fun.
It's
It's
it's all creativity, man,
always
and it's just another add to your creativity. It's an honor. I can't believe like Wabiri, man, homie, like, and two of the most prolific musicians are here. You and her, like, I enjoy watching you guys, man. Like seriously, the whole Quality Collective. I mean, dude, that made me. Dude, I didn't even play in Long Beach for a whole long time. I mostly hung out in LA because of you guys, and Peter and all those
that,
cats, man. Like Ambush.
that Des Hope. No, that was the time, man. That was right before social media really. It's still kind of the last years of before social media and smartphones really hit. So right now, at that time, I think it was like MySpace was the biggest.
Yeah.
A lot of like MySpace, and I had like pen pals all over the world, and like it was super great. But that being said, we were still present in the moment. We were still in that moment where we were like show up and go. Like we had scenes going still. Like now, I was
Yep.
just yesterday. I was like, "Where's the firecrackers? Where's the chocolate bars? Where's the?" We need to not bring it back, but can we just like once a month, quarterly? Because those scenes are like, you know, they were so valuable, but it was before the internet, it was before. And I'm always trying to find ways to just like bring little bits of that back. I think they do a really good job of that. And on Monday nights, the short stop, I'm gonna plug it again because it's
I
like,
gotta check that out.
hey, if you're visiting LA, if you don't know, you need to know. Every Monday, most of the Mondays, it's free. Short
I
stop.
gotta check that out, man. And
The,
shoot, especially if you know the homie Clifton too, because I know, man,
these guests on there. It's Slow
Cliff.
Lisa, DJ Jedi. I think those are the three main ones, and it's banging. All ages. People are just like getting down. They got
I need to do that. I need to come and get my groove on over there.
I go back once a month or as much as I can because it reminds me of that time where people were just there to dance, have fun, and like no one's on their phone, and maybe you'll meet a cute guy and girl, or not. But I just go. And it's good times. Sorry, now I'm talking about that, but you gotta like, it's up to us to kind of bring some of that back. Oh, another one is Juju. Juju is another one. Juju Social Club. Someone's gonna come on back, baby.
Man,
Those scenes. So yeah, but how did we get on that? So that's Nation of Liberia. Yes, she was from that time. Quality Collective.
man, that was
Back
such a great time. And I can never remember her name. She plays a kora, and I think she was in Ethiopia for a while too. Kolada or something. I think that was her last name.
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
There's a lot.
She had curly.
Yeah, she had the locks for a little bit. But man, there are so many great artists. What's up, Nicole? How you doing? That's Nicole from Black Rockers United. Represent Nicole Noir or Nicole Polly. She has two names.
It's
Um,
She's called Holistics. I like that name.
yeah, that's a cool name, man.
Man, you got me all reminiscing about the days. Now I'm gonna have to do some writing. We're doing
Man.
planning. Yeah, yeah. So look out for that. I wanna. I've been wanting to do this one event for like I think 15 years. It might happen in 2024, but it has to do with. Give you a few hints. 90s slow jams.
Man.
That's all.
That's
So back, y'all. Who slow dances anymore? Like, don't y'all miss slow dancing? Like, who does that? No.
You gonna laugh when I tell you this, Mataji? I'm a b-boy, but hey, if I find the right lady, I'll do it. I'm so used to either b-boying or slam dancing or pop locking.
That's that to DJ Jedi. I'm gonna be like, you know what? In the middle of the night, multi-monies, y'all need to play some slow jams, and then people like, you know what? Why aren't we doing that anymore, guys? Like, why? Why aren't we doing that?
Yeah, bring that back, man. Play some stylistics or something.
Yeah, or some guy, or some nasty ass Jodeci, or you know.
You said Jodeci.
When I listened to some of the lyrics of what I was listening to in the ninth and 10th grade, I'm like, how are wow. There's a lot of yeah. Things
Oh,
are
it's
a lot nasty.
even crazier
It,
now. A lot of the
um,
R&B, they don't even. There's no even innuendos no more.
it just sounded prettier. It was more. It just sounded more like church, but it really was. You know, it was pretty. Yeah. No, now forget about it. Now. It's just ratchet.
It's
But
just like, yo, put some like.
ratchetness of today, because when I listen back to Luke and all this other stuff I was listening to with DJ Quick, I'm like, oh, we were. This is just like now, you know, things just get more ratchet with each generation. I'm hoping bring back the slow jam. Let's bring it back. So I'm gonna single-handedly bring it back. Now I have all of you as my witness. Now I have to do it. Um, so look out for my slow jams party in 2024.
You gotta
Let you know.
play. You gotta play some Switch, man, or early DeBarge.
Don't worry, it won't be all slow jam because that would be like deeper. We definitely will have some 90s hip hop.
Barry White. Like who else? I'm trying to remember the most slow
No,
jam.
no,
Like a lot of Philly stuff.
okay? This is the 90s, okay?
Oh, okay,
We're talking
90s. I'm thinking 70s, man, and 80s.
no, 90s hip hop and 90s slow jam. There's enough in the 90s for the whole night.
So
And
wet.
you want to take this idea and run with it. I won't be mad if you do it before me, but I've had
Oh
this.
no, I'm gonna let you do it because I'll be like, oh shoot, I'm too much of a b-boy, man. But if you throw it, I'll roll with it.
No, and maybe I might even say you kind of have to come dressed as a 90s so you can't get in. I might go there.
I gotta find some cross colors.
No, well now, oh, good luck. That's probably pretty pricey. But no, we are really digressing right now. But the reason I haven't done it yet, apart from I have a million things going on, is because it has to be the right space. I have to find the right hall. It has to feel kind of old school, but can't be too like deep in the cut because I want people to come. But you know what I mean? I mean, I might even just find a high school gym. Fuck it. And really go there.
That's
So
old school for real.
it just would be fun. But
Yeah, heck yeah.
is, regardless of this happens or not, which I feel like I have to do it because now I've said it publicly, people, just slow down. Or grab your man, your woman,
Heck yeah. I'll rock with it.
and just get your slow jam on.
If
Just
you throw it, I'll roll. I'll roll over there.
more slow jam dancing, the world would be a better place. If there's more slow dances. And honestly, that could be to any era of music. It doesn't have to be, whatever, it could be from the 40s, whatever, it could be jazz. You know? That's, okay, we're really digressing. I'm feeling
No,
really passionate about it.
no, we're not. We're not digressing. This is all creativity, and it's cool because for me, even like with this, we're showing a lot of like the things that we're into, and that still informs even the arts that we do musically or not. Like people don't understand. Like even when you talk about rock and roll, I always tell people like, yo, it's from like freaking gospel and R&B. Of course, blues was before R&B and jazz. And so like for me, we can talk about slow jams. We could even talk about like, I mean, me and the I think it was me and who was I talking to yesterday? Man, I'm old. I'm like losing. We're talking about hip hop. So it's just like all that stuff goes into it and it still ties into each other. So for me, it's not digressing at all,
Yeah, no,
It's
you're right.
really cool. We trying to bring back slow dancing out here too.
Well,
I forgot why Beery's way out there in the country in New York. Aren't you in like Cincinnati or Connecticut or something like that? Wabiri?
where she was, it looked like one of those like it's on the East Coast though, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, man, what's an LA girl out there?
Yeah.
Man.
Well, man, this has been amazing. It's great
Yeah.
to here, get to chat with you, see all the homies showing the love, and I don't know if he's still on here, but my favorite third cousin is on here. He's in Texas. David, are you still on here? David Duke? Anyway, he's one of my favorite humans, so it really means a lot to me that you came on. Anyway, so any last words before we head
That,
out?
yeah, I was gonna ask like, so where could we find your social media? Just your websites and all that, and also word of advice to everybody.
Oh my God, I feel like I've already given all my words of advice that I can give. Slow dance more, okay? Slow dance more. Get Rick Rubin, again, I'm not being paid to say this, get Rick Rubin's new book, The Creative Act, The Art of Being, or not. It's a beautiful book. No, and just be yourself. As you know, somebody's grandmother or mom used to say, you know, just be yourself. Put your shit out there and give no fucks about it. Unapologetically. And if you are struggling with that, you know, maybe take steps to do what you need to do to break through those barriers, you know, which is what I've had to do and it's continue to do. You know, whatever that looks like, whether it's therapy or a spiritual retreat or reading a book like Rick Rubin's, I don't know, like whatever you need to do, or even like finding your tribe, you know. Another big thing I will say that has been helping me, and it's not always pleasant, but you know, I've had to let go of certain friendships or certain areas of my life that were also holding me back. It's very cliche, but you know, I spent the last couple of years really cultivating my tribe, you know, of people in alignment where I'm at, that are supportive of what I do, that I support them, and that we're kind of all going the same direction. That's another thing that's been helping me to thrive and to start to move forward in life. It's just like finding my people. And when you've had the same amount of group of people for a long time, sometimes that still works, and sometimes you know, you can kind of, I don't know, it's like a reality TV show. It's like Survivor. It's like, some people on the island survive and some people go home. I don't know where this analogy is coming from, but that's kind of like what it's felt like the last couple of years. And I just feel like both my inner and all the outer circles around me, right now, I'm in a really good position to really do what it is that I want to do, but it's having the right people around me, you know, and knowing who's worth kind of, I don't want to say fighting for, and that you kind of have to, like, you know, it's not always easy, but it's been the best thing that I've done. And, but that's also a lot of healing work, you know, because then you get into all other kinds of labels, which I try not to do labels anymore, but, you know, do what you got to do, take the baby steps that you need to do what you need to do in order to be able to do what you want to do, you know, and it's not always easy. And the other thing I'll say is, like, you know, I'm in my late 40s. I'm a late bloomer. I've always known that, you know, I'm going to be one of those people that kind of gets my start later in life. So to be unapologetic about that as well, it doesn't matter. Because I know 20-year-olds who think they I was this way too, you know, it's like, I failed, there's nothing left, you know. So I'm a big champion of, like, I don't care if you're 70 or 20 or 40, like, just, it's never too late, just like do you, and just keep it. Because the alternative is like suffering and depression and like beating yourself up and I'm a loser and all, you know, I've been there too. So it's like, but you know, yeah, there's a lot. So that's my advice. But that's really, I always share my advice from my own experience, you know, never dropping something that I haven't experienced myself. And if you want to find me, I think most people here already know where to find me, but it's Mataji Online for Instagram, and also my website is matajionline.com. So
Man,
that's where we're at for now. More to come in January. And Orlando may be my bass player, so we're going to find out. Gonna find out.
we've talked about it. Plus, we're on some experimental stuff too, and it's amazing. Just dude, man, like I really appreciate like what you're doing, and just, you know, even wanting to do this, you know, and just, man, it's,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Like I'm sorry, I laugh a lot, like, you know, but it's awesome, man. I mean, and definitely we'll talk about like music whenever you're down to do such, you know. And it's gonna be rad, man. And whatever you're doing is rad. You're really showing people their purpose. That's what creativity is. Creativity is in everybody, but people think that they have to be artists like us to do that. No, you can do anything and make that even a work of art. That's the whole point, you know.
That's what I know. I keep bringing this damn book up, but it's just a book that I'm reading. That's the whole point of this book, and he has the most beautiful introduction talking just about that. How, I mean, I've heard it before, all the different things, like anything can be art or creative, but it's like, it's true. And
Yep.
so also as artists, we're here to, like you said, not necessarily even always saying it, but show people. There's one other thing I was going to say. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Maybe it'll come back to me. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it. It was something about music. But, oh, I know. So this album of protest songs that I have that I've been keeping in my back pocket for the right time. Everything that's going on in the world, especially, you know, the big thing, you know, that's going on in Gaza, but everything. I'm like, okay, I got to start singing these songs. This is the time, this is the perfect way for me to kind of get back into music. And the reason, what I want to tell you is, you'll be excited about them and maybe wanting to play bass with me, is because they're all from that era of me on the ladder. So, you know, they all in that vein where I used to just play a whole set with just one bass, you know. And so I think you might be you might find that you might be a good fit to jam with me on some of those, you know.
Yeah, let me know what's up.
Yeah.
Let me know what's up, you know.
Yeah.
What a trip, man.
Sure. I took a picture of the back of my head, and I had on a wig too. I used to rock wigs. I had this little short, Holly Berry wig. I mean, it wasn't looking like, but anyway, it's from the back, and that's on that letter. I don't know who shot that photo, but I have to thank them because I don't have a lot of my life documented from that time.
Man.
So that was a really special night. I met a lot of amazing people, and it was the scene, man. We should have a little reunion one of these days when we're all in town. Because I think isn't Peter on the East Coast now too?
He's still on. He's on Facebook and he's on Instagram too. I wanted to get him on. You know, he said he's down to do it, so I'm just waiting on him. You know, Peter. I told Peter, I'm like, dude, you're like one of my heroes. he's
Peter was
such a great dude.
Last bookstore, when the last bookstore was just this tiny little bookstore on like Fifth and Spring. No, Fifth on Spring. It was on Spring, but further down, or Main and Fourth or something. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Just this tiny little bookstore before. He was working there and he was having little shows at that, you know. And then he had having the shows in the newly formed. I haven't even been into the last bookstore for years because I'm just like,
I haven't been since that time when he was throwing shows. Was the last time I went, and even he did one at the train station. Yeah. And some of my guys played it too.
So instrumental. See, that's a whole nother. I have so many projects. My brain is like, to try to document some of that stuff, you know, because it's a special time. And if we can't recreate it, at least we can share it with the world somehow. So other conversations to have. So many conversations. Thank you guys so much for anyone who's still joining us and who came on. Gotta hop off.
Yeah, I don't want to keep you. I know you got to get to your class, but thank you. And you guys check out Mataji Booker Graham, and she'll, you know, definitely dazzle you. And thank you for your conversation. And we'll be seeing you guys. Shout out to all y'all that came out, and shout out to anybody watching this that didn't. God bless you guys. Thanks again, Mataji. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to have you on here. And